All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is the City of Desert Hot Springs regular meeting of the City Council. The City Council serving as a successor agency to the former Redevelopment Agency Board for Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. This is our 5 p.m. closed session. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pitts.
Present.
Councilmember Pai.
Here.
Councilmember Voss.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Gardner.
Present.
And Mayor Mattis.
Present. Don't see anybody in the audience. Do we have any public comments?
No, we do not.
Thank you very much. Mr. City Attorney, would you announce the closed session?
Yes, we have 2 matters on closed session for tonight. The first is conference with legal counsel and anticipated litigation. This is pursuant to paragraph 4 of subdivision D of section 54956.9 of the government code, and this is for one potential case. The second matter is a public employee performance evaluation pursuant to government code section 54957, and this is for the city manager position.
No other, we'll recess to closed session. You got earlier. Councilmember Voss. Councilmember Voss. Councilmember Voss.
You got like an airport page.
Just have you stand back here. Okay. Over here. Over here. Got to be a follower this time. All right. Good evening, everybody. Just want to say welcome. We're back for our presentations here. We have one presentation, and obviously it's a very important moment to the City of Desert Hot Springs. As our longtime police chief retired, that means someone's got to take his job. And we've been very fortunate to have a deputy chief that was here with us for 5 years, and will fill right into that role. With that said, there's an official ceremony that needs to take place, even though he's taken over the duties already, and that's the swearing in of his position. So I'm going to give it over to Chaplain Paul Miller, who's going to come up and do the swearing in of our police chief, Chief Shaw.
Raise your right hand. Steve Shaw, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic?
I do.
Will you bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California, that you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion?
I do.
That you will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which you are about to enter?
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, so normally when it's a new officer or new employee of the police department, this is when I get to push them in front of the microphone and make them say a few words. So I'm going to say a few words today. First off, thank you all for being here. What a great crowd. Desert Hot Springs is a wonderful place to live, work, and play. This is an exceptional community filled with hardworking and caring people. But we also have a lot of work to do to continue reducing crime and make this town safer. And I'm proud to stand before you today to be leading that effort. So Mayor, city council, staff, family, friends, neighbors, my police department family, and to the community of Desert Hot Springs. I extend my deepest sincerity and commitment to you and my appreciation for you being here today. This is a special day in my life, both in my career and in my personal life. I also want to give a special thanks to Chaplain Paul Miller for swearing me in. We have had over the last 5 years great conversations. He's been a great supporter and a great sounding board for me, and I'm looking forward to us continuing that relationship and having you to lean on as I continue in my profession here and in my role as police chief. So thank you for your guidance and support over the last 5 years. I know today is not just about me. It's about all of us. It's about a shared commitment we have to the safety and well-being of this community. It's about the partnership that we forge together. As part of the Desert Hot Springs Police Department, I am proud of the relationships and the trust we have built with the community that we serve. Today I pledge to you that as your chief, we will continue the work of building and strengthening those bridges through community policing. I promise today that while my department works tirelessly to protect and serve, we will always listen to the voices of the community. I believe in a police force that is built on the pillars of integrity, transparency, and community engagement. And let me repeat that. Integrity, transparency, and community engagement. To me, these are the bedrocks of effective policing. Today I pledge to you that this department will be open and honest. We will be clear about our story, the bad and the ugly sometimes, but also the good. And so often the good stories are ignored. Every day the men and women, and if you look behind you, these folks behind you, every day the men and women of this police department put their lives on the line to help people in this community. Every single day. And those stories deserve to be heard, and they need to be heard. So this is a new chapter for our police department and for our city. What I ask you is let us embark on this together. Join me on this journey with a shared commitment to building a safer, more just, and more inclusive community for all. I look forward to the work we have ahead of us and the work that will ensure our safety and the work that will always include the community as a vital part of the solution. Because ultimately, we are all in this together. So thank you, and let's get to work. Thank you.
To the men and women that protect us each day, thank you. Be safe out there. The City Council has they're giving the chief their full support, and I hope you will too. With that said, we are adjourned till 6 o'clock. Feel free to come take some pictures with the chief. Good evening, everybody. This is the City of Desert Hot Springs regular meeting of the City Council, and the City Council serving as the successor agency to the former Redevelopment Agency Board for Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. This is our 6 p.m. regular session. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pitts.
Present.
Councilmember Pai.
Present.
Councilmember Voss.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Gardner.
Present.
And Mayor Mattis.
Present. We didn't have anybody for invocation tonight? You did? Who'd you bring? I'm sorry. I forgot to read it and write it down. I apologize. Sir?
Yes.
You are more than welcome to take the mic. Just introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Kevin O'Shaughnessy. I'm a past district deputy Grand Exalted ruler of the Elks organization here in Desert Hot Springs, and I'm pleasure to give an invocation for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'd like to ask people to rise. Lord, we come to you today and ask a special hand of understanding come across all those here making decisions, whether it be here in the council or out on the street or in our community. Lord, we just ask you to bless these people for their hard work and dedication that they prove. Lord, there's a lot to be done, as we heard. We just ask you to constantly guide all our members that are out there serving us, taking care of us, and protecting us. Lord, we ask you to bless our families and all those that support us as we do our things that we have to do each day. Lord, we ask you at this time to protect our veterans, our special responders, first responders, and our law enforcement folks that are out there. We ask this in your blessed name. Amen. Thank
Please
you.
remain standing. Join me in pledging to our nation's flag. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, move to city attorney's report on closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have only one reportable matter, and that is on the first item regarding anticipated litigation. Councilmember Gardner made a motion to authorize the initiation of litigation. Councilmember Voss seconded the motion, and the council voted 5-0 to approve the initiation of litigation.
Thank you. Before we approve the agenda, on the consent calendar, we have 4 items. Is there anybody in the public like to make any comments on any of the items on the consent calendar, not on the regular calendar? I see nobody coming forth. Is there anybody who would like to remove any items from the consent calendar on this, from the dais? I'll accept a motion to approve the agenda and to approve the consent calendar.
So moved. Second.
Here's a motion and a second when it comes up on the screen. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We'll move to public comments. At this time, pursuant to the Brown Act, any person may comment on matters of general interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council not listed on the agenda. Under the Brown Act, the City Council shall not take action on or discuss matters raised during public comment portion of the agenda that are not listed on the agenda. So if you're here to speak on an item on the agenda, when we get to that item, you can speak at that time. If you're here to speak on anything general, you may do so by going and filling out a blue card and handing it to the city clerk there. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Speakers shall not yield their time to others without consent of the mayor. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during public comment. I have 1 blue card turned in. Armando Sanders.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and fellow residents. Thank you for this opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Armando. This is my classmates, April, Liz, and Adeline. The summary here is that Desert Hot Springs is growing not only in population but in potential. As our community becomes more diverse and vibrant, we need shared spaces that reflect our values, serve our people, and support healthy, connected living. A multi-purpose community center would be a central hub where residents of all ages could access educational programs, recreational activities, workforce training, cultural events, and critical support services all under one roof. The goals, our primary goals with this project are youth empowerment through after-school programs, tutoring and sports, senior engagement via social activities, wellness classes, support services, community resilience by offering resources for job training, emergency preparedness, mental health support, cultural connection through art, theater, gardening, music, science, and civic events that bring us together. This center would not only serve existing needs, but become a beacon of opportunity, inclusivity, and pride for generations to come. A strategic plan to make this vision a reality, we propose the following steps: community engagement, conduct surveys and town halls to ensure center reflects the needs of the residents. For example, during a preliminary survey our team did, we found many needs. One in particular is the protection and education of our children walking to and from school. They're being sexually harassed, assaulted by some homeless people. The center would sponsor field trips to its location for children to be trained in protective measures countering sexual harassment or any other unwanted behavior, like walking in groups, bodily awareness, and reporting. The training would be tailored to age, grades, level, and ingredients. Parents, security guards, and other volunteers will be trained and provide their time to walk the path that children generally and majority use. Site selection and design, identify city-owned land, repurpose any existing facilities to minimize costs and environmental impact. The old Veterans Building was mentioned. Funding strategy, combine city resources with state funds, federal grants, philanthropic partnerships, and private donations. There'll be a phased implementation, sustainable operations. Desert Hot Springs is a city with heart. We've proven time and time again that this city invests in people. We will rise. A multi-purpose community center is more than just a building. It's a statement that we believe in our future and are willing to build it together. I urge the members of City Council to support this vision. Let's create a space where dreams are nurtured, challenges are met with solutions, and every resident feels seen, supported, and empowered. Thank you for your time and your commitment to making Desert Hot Springs stronger and a more united community.
3 minutes is tough, isn't it?
Yes.
Staff will get your information, and before we were able to make a decision on that, you probably should meet with them and talk about your plan.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do have one in blue. Scott Russick.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, Team DHS. Nice to see everybody tonight. My name is Scott Russick. I am the president of the Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance Network and wanted to update you on a couple of fascinating things that are going on. One, I know there was a bit of concern about the Coachella Legacy Cup, which basically is a contest in the cannabis space for all different levels of whether they be cultivation, pre-rolls, various products. That was originally scheduled for May. The organizers, for a whole bunch of reasons, decided to move it out to October. It is, we will have a date set tomorrow, and we'll have a full announcement for the entire valley. The organizers wanted a little more runway. They kind of squished it in a little bit too fast, and so this way it'll give the event room to breathe and be a robust event, and we'll update council and anyone who's interested, but that will definitely be going forward in I believe, the third week of October, but more to come on that. That's number one. Number two, we have our annual 420 friendly CV Can golf outing going on May 2nd at Woodhaven Country Club. I know a number of you are participating. You're all welcome. Come on out. Let's play some golf and have some fun. We'll also be doing a canned food drive at the event for the Food Insecure. Then finally, Thursday night, 2 nights from tonight, at Miracle Springs Resort and Spa, we are having a Celebrate 420 business mixer event. There'll be speakers speaking on banking solutions, accounting and profitability, odor control and compliance, cannabis training and education from the College of the Desert, as well as CBD and THC for wellness. All are welcome. There will be refreshments, and no one in this room will pay a dime. Come out and support. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Scott. So I don't have to rush back on May 10th then.
You're good.
Awesome. Any other public comments? This is regular public comments at this time. Just on any general items. You good? You're going to speak on an item?
Yes.
Okay, not now then.
1 second. Sorry. Is this number 4?
No, this is basic public comments. All right, we're going to close public comments this time. Move to city manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. First, I'd like to ask our Administrative Services Director, Jeffrey Buckheim, to provide us with some financial highlights.
Thank you and good evening. So our financial highlights for the General Fund and Public Safety Fund for the current fiscal year through March 31st, 2025. Combined revenues of over $20.2 million, which is at 57% of our budget. Last year at this time, we had $18.2 million, which is at 56%, and 2 years ago, we were at a little over $17 million, which is at 52%. As for expenditures through March 31st, we have slightly over $25 million, which is at 70% of the amended budget. Last year at this time, we were at 24.9, and which was 72% of the budget. And 2 years ago, we were at almost 22.4, which was at 63% of that year's budget. And that's the end of my report.
Excellent, thank you. The only other update, Roberta does have some updates. She unfortunately stepped out, though, to speak with a constituent. The only other thing I'd like to remind the community is to come out this weekend, again, to the downtown, to known projects across the street from City Hall. There is the unveiling that is still continuing for the downtown mural project, and all are invited. Thank
We'll start our comments, and then if she needs to jump back in, we can do that. All right, we're going to go to Mayor and Councilmember comments. Mr. Voss.
Thank you, sir. April 2nd, attended the Hacienda Road groundbreaking. That's exciting to see. I noticed they got the curb and gutter on a lot of that. I'd like to go down there once a day and kind of see some of the progress and stuff. And so it's kind of nice to see that happening. And it looks like folks that are driving through there are being pretty careful and kind of paying attention to the stuff and kind of looking around too, I think, which is good. That was April 5th. You guys were at that. I was at the Ice Cube show, sorry, but I had a great time. And there were a lot of Desert Hot Springs people there, by the way. And it was the comment that a couple of them said it was kind of cool to have a council member at the Ice Cube show. So that was that. April 8th, myself, Councilmember Pai, we attended, was that? Oh, yes, we do. Did you want to talk about those? It's me. Oh, well, we attended this. This was the Crime Victims' Rights Week ceremony that is put on by the Riverside County District Attorney's Office. And it was very moving. First time I had a chance to do that, and it was great to see Desert Hot Springs represented there. But also, Jan and I had a chance where we had 4 or 5 different names that we got to mention who were people, victims of violent crime. And you got to mention the name and the age of the person. And I think the youngest was like 2 months. And then, the oldest was like in their 90s. And then, I had like a couple that were 13 years old and 23, and just so many different young ages and different people. But then you had people that were there who were family members that were there. And then they would kind of maybe, some of them would release balloons, or some of them would cheer the name. And it was very, very moving thing with that. And, I was glad that we got a chance to participate in that. They do that there, and they also do it again in Riverside with that. And then I know we're a couple days already into this, but the 12th through the 16th this week, at the Desert Hot Springs Library here off of Palm, the Healing Hearts exhibit. It's an art exhibit that is put on through the Crime Victims Week ceremony. Has different art thing going on right there now. So if you get a chance, stop by the library and you'll be able to see some of the art projects that were done that are put on with this. And they're going to multiple different sites, like 5 or 6 different sites. And then, as you saw, in the pictures there. And then I know others will talk a lot about this, but I was at the Known Projects Gallery opening on Friday. That was really cool, and it got nice to meet everybody and the different artists and residents and stuff that were out there. And I'll let others kind of talk more on that. That's it.
Ms. Pai.
There is going to be a sign on West Boulevard that says, "See, College of the Desert is here." Right now, nobody knows where it is. And it's on West, and I met with some officials from COD, and we will have a sign. It will be right there where Winslow is, and finally we'll have a sign. Also, it was suggested that we have a campus downtown. That's on the radar, but I don't know how far. But we got the sign. And that concludes my report.
I'm not going to hold my breath, but good work. Mr. Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Attended the Southern California Association of Governments Housing Committee Regional Council meeting in LA last week. Lots of discussion still on the fires and other natural disaster and how to rebuild from that, and things we can learn about, and updates to the building code and things like that. And what is also brewing up to, buckle up, folks, a pending homeowners insurance crisis in California with rates set to dramatically go up. So we're kind of keeping an eye on that, and as best we can to try to minimize that through the state, but it's going to go up. Attended the Visit Greater Palm Springs Board meeting, had some more scary news from that. International and especially Canadian travel has dropped off dramatically and is falling very fast. Canadians in particular feeling very uneasy about travel to the United States and offended at some of the things that are going on. They're choosing to leave early and saying they're not coming back and to spend the winter elsewhere. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on and maybe try as best to remarket some of our, or reallocate some of our marketing dollars to the closer in drive markets, San Diego, Orange County, things like that, to make up from that lost revenue from the Canadians. Had a Coachella Valley Conservation Commission meeting, updates on both the grant to clean up the encampments and dumping in the desert here in Desert Hot Springs, as well as an update on our new Ranger Corps. The Ranger program is proving a bit challenging. We're having to deal with different jurisdictions. If you think about it, the 9 cities across the valley, the county, the fire department, the sheriff's department, DNR, Bureau of Land Management, everybody is getting their fingers into this. However, we're still on track to hire first 4 rangers early next year and be operational by this time next year, which is really exciting. In addition, our favorite local bird, the burrowing owl, likely to be listed on the endangered by the species list by the State Department of Natural Resources. And sadly, the owls lost a lot of their habitat in Desert Hot Springs with the tropical storm a year and a half ago. Took out our roads, but it also took out the banks along Mission Creek where they have their nest. And the survey of the owls in DHS, we once had 30 to 40 nesting pairs, and we're now down to about 15, unfortunately, because they lost so much of their habitat. And lastly, as Councilmember Voss mentioned, we have the groundbreaking for the Hacienda project and the reception for the artists that have painted our murals downtown as part of that mural project. And they're almost all done now. They're just amazing and fantastic. I get a lot of comments from residents. In fact, my barber doing my beard this morning was just raving about them. The reception and the party on the street were just absolutely fun. A wonderful vibe, dovetailed with our Friday nights on Pearson. And as mentioned, it's going on again this week, so hopefully you can come down to that. And the murals are having their desired effect. My YouTube feed brought up a video of a travel influencer from the LA area that did a trip to the desert to see Desert X. And they stopped at the 2 on the eastern edge or the western edge of DHS, and we're driving from the Soul Service Station, coming up Pearson, headed to the one up the top of the hill with the rainbows. And we're driving along, and they spotted the large mural that's on the side of IVTHC and Espresso Self. And they were so wowed by the mural that they literally were watching them drive up, and they pull in. They get out, they film the mural, they go in to get coffee, they come back out, and they're raving about how great the coffee was. Looking at their view count today before I came in, that video has been viewed by 1.4 million people. Wow. They saw Desert Hot Springs and Espresso Self, so they're having the effect. If we get 1.4 million people to look at that video, and then if a tenth of them come to town, hey, we did our job. And so that and Desert X and Coachella going on right now, I think it's going to be really interesting to track a lot of that stuff. The artists at the reception for the murals started calling Desert Hot Springs Desert Art Springs, which is probably appropriately fitting. And these are the kind of efforts that we really need to continue to do to grow our tourism industry here. And we should always be on the lookout for more of those kinds of opportunities. That's all I've got.
Mr. Pitts.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. So this is my City Council update for April 15th, 2025. On April 1st, I joined our mayor and city council members for the ribbon cutting and groundbreaking ceremony of the Hacienda Avenue Improvement Project. Local press coverage showcased this important milestone, marking an exciting time for infrastructure development in our city. On April 3rd, I attended the Riverside County Animal Campus Commission, or CVAG. It's important to highlight that this board consists of very passionate animal advocates dedicated to the well-being of our furry friends, and I am thrilled to serve alongside of them. Here's some of the takeaways. One of the key takeaways from that meeting was the introduction of Assembly Bill 691, which proposes a pet adoption tax credit. More information about that will be provided soon. Another significant outcome was our commitment to strive for all Riverside County animal shelters to become no-kill shelters within 1 year. Although we have a challenged road ahead of us, I'm excited to see what we are going to do and that we're right on the right track on that. Speaking of our beloved fur babies, on April 5th, myself, along with our Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members, and our City Manager, attended a fantastic furball fundraiser that benefited local animal shelters and the Desert Wildlife Center as well. The event appeared to be a tremendous success, raising over $650,000. On April 11th, I joined our mayor and also city council members for a private preview and press opening of our downtown Millrose unveiling event. It was a wonderful event and also an opportunity to meet all these talented artists behind these murals gathered in one place. And you just spoke to this, Mayor Pro Tem Gardner. Between our murals and Desert X, our local businesses will benefit from all of this foot traffic. And that completes my report.
Thank you. Mentioned up here, I also attended the Hacienda groundbreaking, and this is just a really great project for the city of Desert Hot Springs. As we received grants for road safety projects, and when I became mayor 9 years ago, we really focused on Palm Drive, but then we knew we needed to start working on some of the other roads in our community, and Hacienda was then pointed out of how it was becoming dilapidated and unsafe, and we did have some casualties, and I think even a fatality on Hacienda. So it was time to move on that project, and our staff did a fantastic job on getting some grant funding. So the first phase of what we call phase 1 and 2, 2 phases, started, and we broke ground on it, and it'll become safer. It'll be sidewalks and bike lanes and curbs and gutters, and it'll just be a great project for Desert Hot Springs. Thank you to all the hard work by staff. As mentioned, I also attended the fundraiser for Animal Alliance, Palm Springs Animal Alliance. And they are going to be our operators of our animal hospital, and we will soon have a ribbon cutting there. And they are also, running the other facilities that mentioned, the Palm Springs Animal Shelter and the Wildlife Rehab Center. Thank you. Raising $650,000, huge, and they become great partners to the city of Desert Hot Springs, and I look forward to many other opportunities to work with them. I attended CVAG, Coachella Valley Association of Governments transportation meeting, but an hour before that we had an ad hoc committee, which is called the I-10 Ad Hoc Committee. 2 years ago when I became chair, it was one of the focuses. I put together a small group of people from the transportation committee to focus on Interstate 10. It's very unsightly when you drive through, and being a destination, it's not very pretty to look at when you're driving through. The maintenance of the highway is terrible. The traffic's becoming worse, and there's areas that have pinch points that the traffic actually just backs up completely. So we met again with Caltrans, talked about some stuff going forward. They are going to come back with a timeline on some maintenance for I-10, but also some bigger solutions on how we get trash cleaned up and start working on interchanges. And we were also talking about maybe murals on a lot of that concrete along I-10. That will help really bring the feel of the festivals and what we have to offer here in hospitality back to the Coachella Valley. So really positive meeting. I'm looking forward to the next one. The transportation committee then met right afterwards. The transportation projects prioritization study. TPPS is something that the Coachella Valley Association of Governments uses to rank the projects in the region. And they are reviving that, or not reviving that, they're updating the program. And so they started that process in awarding the contract. Then we have received updates on the CV Sync, which is syncing all of the streetlights throughout the Coachella Valley and most cities that participate. And then the CV Link projects, they've got an update on that. Nothing else really pertaining to Desert Hot Springs. Riverside County Transportation Commission met last Wednesday. And there was a lot on the agenda, but not a lot pertaining to Desert Hot Springs. But I did want to update you that approximately 5 years ago, there was a movement to remove call boxes. So when you drive along Interstate 10 or any of the highways, and you would see those blue call boxes in certain areas, they started removing those years ago. The reason for is that the provider didn't want to update the services in it. They didn't want to bring in new infrastructure. As G2 at the time, I think it was getting outdated. I think they updated them to G3, and now we're at G5. So with that said, basically what's happened is they've phased them out, and now they've awarded the contract to a company who will actually pull all the rest of them out. There's 136 left in the county, and they'll be disbanded and taken down over time. So use your cell phone, make sure it's charged when you travel into areas that don't have great service, and make sure you're prepared. Normal meetings, met with a lot of people, or a lot of developers and constituents, and others throughout the last few weeks. And then finally the Nolan Gallery, just can't say enough about that. If you haven't been across the street, and they're reopening this Friday for you to take a look, just pop in. There's renderings of each of the murals that have been put up in Desert Hot Springs. Some really world-renowned artists have come to Desert Hot Springs to do this, and we're getting a lot of publicity because of it. I want to thank Casey for what he's done for our community and really doing that stuff. So that's all I have. We are going to go back to the city manager's report. Ms. Cernick had some stuff. She had to step out for a minute, and I'll let her update you.
Thank you. I'll be quick. Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I'd like to announce a few upcoming events. Our Memorial Day ceremony will take place on Monday, May 26 at 9 a.m. at Veterans Park. And our first ever Day of the Child event is scheduled for Saturday, June 7th from 10 to noon at the Health and Wellness Center. We have a lot of exciting activities planned, including arts and crafts, games, and valuable community resources. This is also a great time to tour our recreation center, aquatic center, and health and wellness center and learn about all of our programs that we offer there. And finally, mark your calendars for our fireworks spectacular at Mission Springs Park on Saturday, July 5th from 6 to 10 p.m. with fireworks starting at 9:15. There's a lot happening in our city, and for more details about these events, please visit our website's events tab page. Thank you.
Perfect. Conflicts of interest, anyone have any that they'd like to announce this time? I see none. We're going to move on to the public hearing. Our first item is item number 3, creating a special tax area 55 for property Rancho Descanso, Lennar Homes of California, LLC, and Millrose Properties, California, LLC, for APN 656-500-001 through 656-500-040. and 656-510-001 through 656-510-038, located south of Camino Campesino, west of Avenida Descanso, to the Desert Hot Springs Special Public Safety Tax Area. Now, everybody repeat that. Just joking, Jeffrey. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Well, that's why I put it there so you can read it instead of me. So this is a public hearing to adopt a resolution to create a special tax zone 55 within the public safety tax area. This public safety tax area zone consists of 76 residential lots known as Rancho Descanso. After the creation of this tax zone, a special tax will be levied on the properties to fund public safety services. Once all the properties are developed and sold, the zone could provide up to $26,700 in additional public safety parcel tax revenue every year. We also have representatives from Webb Municipal if there are any questions.
That's the staff report. Is there any questions for staff from City Council? I see none at this time. I will open the public hearing and I will take public testimony. Does anyone from the audience like to make any, or have any public testimony on this item? I see nobody coming forth. We're going to close the public hearing. Any other questions by City Council?
Nope, but I
No,
will
no, 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 no.
move that we.
No. Nope. Thank you. Hold on. You got to wait for me to finish.
Okay,
Thanks. We need to hold the election.
that's true.
And Mr. City Clerk, would you canvass the election, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The property owners have voted in favor of the zone creation.
All right, it passes. Now, can I have a motion to adopt an ordinance establishing public safety tax area zone 55?
I don't have to repeat all of the numbers like you
You
did, but
do.
I'll move that. Okay.
I'm
Well,
just joking. I was just joking.
so moved.
There's a motion by Mr. Gardner. Second. There's a second by Ms. Pye. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. Move to item number 4, ordinance cannabis retail tax amendment. Ms. Newsom.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. On April 1st, 2025, the City Council approved staff's recommendation to permanently reduce the cannabis retail tax rate from 10% of all gross sales to 5% of all gross sales. This proposed ordinance incorporates City Council's direction. The Desert Hot Springs Municipal Code regulates cannabis retail taxes both for recreational sales and medical sales. The proposed ordinance will apply to the applicable chapters to lower the retail tax from 10% to 5% of all gross sales. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is there questions for staff from the City Council before I open the public hearing? See none, I'll open the public hearing this time, and I'll take any testimony in favor. You may come up, state your name. Push the button a little bit harder. There you go.
Is that it? Thank you. Good evening. It's been a minute. Jocelyn Kane with CV Can. Team DHS, I like that. I'm going to repeat that. I am the Vice President of CV Can. You know who we are. I don't need to repeat that over and over. We are just here to say thanks and show our strong support for this retail tax reduction. Wanted to also let you know that CV Can is on record supporting AB 564, and I think the city could do the same. At the state level, Assemblyman Matt Haney has submitted to repeal the excise tax increase, which is, I think, part of why you're having this discussion as well. At the state level, it was supposed to go to 19%. We're trying to keep it at 15%. So in line with what you're doing. In addition, if you decide tonight to move this 5%, you will now match Cathedral City as well as Palm Desert in that retail tax rate. And we believe this relief for your cannabis retailers and your cannabis customers will benefit your whole community, keep jobs here, and allow DHS to remain the leader in support for a healthy cannabis industry in our valley. And we really believe that this city is special in that way, and appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thanks, Jocelyn.
Hi, good, are we on? Hello.
You are.
Good evening, Scott Russick, CV Can. Good evening to everyone again. So I wanted to do something a little different tonight. As an ex-lawyer, what I would have done, I would have pulled a thesaurus, but I wanted to see, what the kids are talking about, this chat GBT thing, and I dictated all of my thoughts about this city and this city council and staff and its work in connection with progressive cannabis treatment. And I asked it for a bunch of adjectives, and this is what it came out with. Necessary, critical, required, timely, appropriate, responsive, proactive, forward-thinking, compassionate, empathetic. And I think those are all wonderful adjectives for how I personally feel about the importance of the ordinance that was being considered tonight. Certainly CV Can supports it, I support it, and I think it can be best summed up, if you remember the old Odd Couple sitcom, the original, Unger went up to a ski chalet to do a photo shoot. And Albert Brooks was the advertising exec, and he was a young guy at that time, 72, part of the counterculture, frizzy hair, and he kept screaming at Unger every time Unger came up with a new idea. That's now thinking. Now thinking, and that's what this is. All kidding aside, this is really, really important. It shows that council and staff are responsive, proactive, and all of the adjectives that I laid out. So thank you very much for considering this. We are certainly in support. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Scott. Any other in favor comments? I will go to anybody opposed. State your name for the record.
Elliot Lou Griffin. Hi, residents of Desert Hot Springs and actually residents of the state of California who voted for this. I guess I will start by saying the tax revenue for the sales did go down for marijuana. And you know, that's because there is no more PPP, EDD loans. There's no more stimulus going to the community. So that's going to bring all our numbers down. No more PPP, EDD. So the people who were trying to support marijuana on those, they can't support marijuana with those no more. They have to go to work. We all seen rent go up. We all seen everything go up. I would like to jump in and say this is one of the industries that is not tariffed at this time. It will not have to deal with those kind of taxes. No trade wars. I would like to say that spirits, beer, and alcohol, I think, is taxed at a 6% rate. So I am actually not for, not against. I'm actually going to tell this committee, since I only got 2 minutes, is I would like to see 4% go to the cannabis industry and that we hold on to 1%. That 1% is still 120,000. We could support small businesses with this 120,000. We can do a lot with this. I would like, I don't know if we have to put back for a new ordinance. So I'm not for, not against. I would like to put in, maybe if we could just vote like 4% to give them back, save 1%. That 1% could go for like small businesses. Again, 120,000, this is 120 to 150,000 for the community. So let's say it's 150,000 at the max end. That's 15,000. So we give 10 small businesses 15,000 for each for doing good business in the community. Here goes a small business grant. I mean, I think there's a lot we could do with this 120,000 besides giving up all our cards. Plus, I would like to look at, I know a lot of people are baffled by, you know, how the state is charging so much, and I would like to say it's still a drug trade. You know, even illicit, however it goes, at 60, 40%, everybody heard of drug trade. So we could all see how, you know, plus it was supposed to come with $20 an hour, you know, to handle a Schedule I federal drug. So that's where I got my 20% from. I know the California want to go from 25. We were at 10. 15 would have made it 40, plus the 20%. And the sales tax don't even count because, you know, they just count it as sales tax. But I would like to see us come with a better ordinance. I'm not saying that they have to give minimum wage. We're already waiving permit fees for them. We already closed applications for them. I would like to see us try to save at least 1% on this, and that's my fight in this one. It's a save for us, 120, 150,000. We could promote small business with that as far as just giving away grants every year, and I would like to see it go to the homeless first. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Anyone else opposed or in neutral position like to speak on this item? I see nobody else coming forth. We'll close the public hearing at this time. I'll take any more discussion or questions to staff by City Council. See none. We will move to item 9, which is the recommendation to introduce the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Voss and seconded by Mr. Gardner. Once it gets moved and seconded on the screen, please vote.
Motion passes unanimously. This is a first reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Desert Hot Springs, amending the Desert Hot Springs Municipal Code, Chapters 3.34, titled Marijuana Tax, and 3.37, titled Medical Marijuana Tax, to amend various sections in both chapters to lower recreational and medical retail taxes. The ordinance will return on May 6th for second reading and adoption.
Thank you to all the hard work staff did. Thank you, guys. We'll move to the administrative calendar. Item number 5 is the Hacienda Avenue Spa Zone Street Improvement Project. This is a receive and file item. We'll get updated by Mr. Porras.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This is regarding the Hacienda Avenue Spa Zone Street Improvement Project. This is phase 2. We like to call phase 2. This is not the one that currently or has started a couple weeks ago and is currently under construction. This one actually will expand that project from Tamar, where the current under construction project will end, and it'll go east all the way to the end of the city limits to Long Canyon. This will just provide you a project update. We'll go over some plans and some landscape plans, some renderings, and this is a receive and file. Again, this project is located on Hacienda Avenue between Tamar Drive and Long Canyon Road. The scope of work includes the construction of bicycle lanes, new sidewalks, street lights, safety medians, and in this case, medians and the parkways will be landscaped where they're located within the existing right-of-way. The proposed improvements and the goal of some of the grant funding, which is through ATP, is to allow for safer access to bus stops, schools, hotels, and shopping centers, and to promote active transportation in our city. The one big item that we had to deal with in this project itself is the right-of-way. We had right-of-way that was varied throughout the entire project. We have in areas where the right-of-way is very long, very wide, and in the areas where it's very narrow. We have existing improvements, existing structures, which are very narrow and close to the center line. In other areas, they're very far away, just because different developments were built at different times over the past years. So it's kind of like an accordion style. If you drive from one side to the other, it shrinks and then it gets wide and it shrinks. So one of the main tasks here is to try to, one, refocus that and give it a proper standard all the way through, not just through infrastructure, but also through striping. So we have 53 sheets, but I will not show you all 53 sheets. They are not that entertaining for the general public. So I'll show you the landscape plan, which is a little more funner to look at. So this is where it begins. Tamar, it goes, the plans you're reading from the top left to the bottom right. So it starts in Tamar. As you can see, this one does have some right-of-way on the north side, so we're able to add meandering sidewalk on the north, but on the south, we cannot add meandering sidewalk because of the right-of-way, so there is just standard sidewalk. The north meandering sidewalk does have parkway landscaping on the street side, and we are adding a landscape median between these two roadways. These medians are not the really wide medians. These are the widest medians we can have, so we can still allow for the bike lane and the driving lane through these roads. So we had to customize some of these medians just to be able to add them on here and add the landscaping portion of there. So here you go from Tamar all the way to LaSalle, then Casa Loma, Maui, and Miracle Hill, and it all stays pretty standard through this section. You keep going from Miracle Hill all the way to Eliseo. It's the same exact section, and then you enter into Agua Cayendo and east, and you notice the sidewalk becomes straight, and then it has a larger parkway area. We on purposely did that because there is some right-of-way there, and we added a little more extra landscaping. On the south, there are some single-family homes, so we have the driveway cuts in front and no landscape in the front, but the adjacent sidewalk. Just because the parkway would then lead up to maintenance issues in the future. Same thing when you go a little bit farther east, now you flip-flop. On the north side, you have single-family homes, and on the south side, you have some parkway areas with landscape. This area actually allowed to have a sidewalk and parkway on both sides, the north and the south side, and the landscape meeting in the middle. So this area is actually fully landscaped and fully operational for everything. Keep going farthest east on the south side, again, a large area. Since we weren't able to, or weren't allowed or able to actually construct a median because of the narrow right-of-way here, we decided to add as much possible landscaping to the south side. So we added landscaping to the south side in a parkway area to still create that visual beautification effect throughout this section of road. Then it curves, and we meander the sidewalk at this side, which will connect to the meandering sidewalk that already exists. As you can see it here on the south side, it's kind of blank, but anyways, you can see a little bit light colored, but there is a meandering sidewalk on the south side. This area is very wide. Some people don't realize that it's only 2 lanes, but it is actually 3 lanes. So we are adding a landscape median to the center lane and still provide left turns for people to get out of all these different streets. This is getting towards a school. The medians go all the way up to the existing median that's there for the crosswalk, and then they end when the turn's about to begin, and then you get to the fire station. And the landscaping that's proposed is actually very, very similar to what we currently have on Palm Drive. Some of the landscaping is fan palms, Mexican blue palm, the bougainvilleas, desert milkweed, brittle brush, soap tree yucca, Texas olive, yellow oleander, pink fairy duster, some barrel cactuses, and little leaf cordia. So we try to match almost similar, almost identical to the same colors as what we currently have on Palm Drive to make everything uniform. Here's some renderings of what some sections will look like. On this section, you have sidewalks on both sides and a parkway and a landscape median. Again, very similar to our current medians on Palm Drive. Here's another rendering of what it would look like with different landscaping. And then here's a third one. These plans are about 90% complete. We are going to begin the plan check process, and we are going to begin the state and federal funding clearances. Some of those take a little longer than we want them to take. We do have to get, since it's funded through a federal grant, we do have to get NEPA clearances. We have already received the NEPA documents. We just have to go through the review process with the state. It does take between 3 to 6 months just to get reviewed and approved by them. Our plan check process also takes a while because of the utilities. We have Southern California Edison, who reviews and approves the street lights. We have MSWD, who reviews and approves the landscape lights and the landscaping, and also the water connection and water meters. And then we have our plan checkers who do all the street improvements. So it is a multi-agency plan check process that does take a little bit of time. We still expect to start construction in 2026, and I don't have an exact date just because I have some unknowns on the plan check and the federal clearances. As the plans go into 90%, we'll be able to update that on the exact same day when we plan to start. That concludes my staff report. Glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments? Just a couple questions. I know I have somebody in the queue. One, when I looked over the plans, is there any way to switch out the fan palms for date palms?
Yes. Yes.
I just think they look more classy. What we put along Palm Drive just makes it look really cool. And is there going to be any electrical for lighting in the future?
We do have electrical plans, and we are finalizing the estimate on that because we're either going to have just a conduit for them or the full-on electrical service. Since the streetlights are coming in, this will be the time to actually add the electrical meter service.
Yeah, at least if we get the conduit in, and then in the future find some funding to put the lights up similar to what we done on Palm Drive. I think it would look really great in the spa zone. But I'd love to use some date palms along there rather than the fan palms. Fan palms could get a little ugly sometimes. So, just my opinion. Mr. Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You beat me to the punch on the uplights, so I was going to ask if we're going to try to put the uplights in, because I agree with you that having them up Palm and at the entryway there at the freeway just looks fantastic. So if there's any way we can do that, and we're running short on funds, drop off a few oleanders and put in the lights. Oleanders are a mess. The other one, and I know Danny knew I was going to ask this, and he pre-did it by saying we start in 2026, but how long will the project take, do you think, once we do get started?
We're estimating between 8 to 12 months. Again, as closer we get is a matter of the street light poles. That's what it literally takes us a little bit of long time of how fast we're going to get them. Our Councilmember Boss mentioned, we already have some curb and gutter in Hacienda. We got it within a week, 2 weeks, but then we still have to put all the streetlights, which takes a little bit longer. So This is a long stretch. We do expect to take almost about 8 to 12 months on it.
No, still 8 to 12 months isn't bad. This is fantastic. It looks gorgeous. I'm really excited to see it all come to fruition. So that's all I've got. Thanks.
Anybody else in the queue? Any other questions?
I know there'll be quite a few people happy that the bumpity bump will no longer be there.
I hear you.
New stripes. That's right.
Nobody else in the queue. This is just a receive and file, and thank you for the report and the update. Item number 6 is a splash pad options for John H. Furby Aquatic Center improvements. Mr. Forrest.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. We have the John H. Furby Aquatic Center located at the Health and Wellness Center. Today, I'll just go over some splash pad options. I'll start off with a little bit of brief history. In April of 2024, City Council adopted a resolution authorizing City Manager to approve all agreements for the CDBG advancement request. That request was made to fund the John H. Furby pool and splash pad reconstruction, a total cost of about $1.3 million. In May of 2024, a agreement was awarded to Aquatic Design Group for the design of the Aquatic Center pool renovations in an amount of $84,000. The plans were completed only for the pool. The city went out and released an RFP, received bids, and in December, the construction contract was awarded to USA Construction. Through the agreement process, we recognized that USA Construction was non-responsible. Therefore, we returned to the City Council in February and recommended the rejection of that lowest bid. Due to scheduling conflicts with the DHS swim team and also our swim program, we were also recommended to reject all bids and instead proceed with designing not only just a pool, but also the splash pad. That way we can complete those plans, release the RFP, and then as soon as the swim season ends this year in September, we completely demo the pool and the splash pad and build everything all at once instead of doing it in 2 phases. So we have the pool reconstruction plans done. We now need to finalize the splash pad portion of it. Again, the splash pads can be as simple and as amazing as you want them to be. In this case, we were trying to keep everything under budget. Therefore, we had to research various splash pad options that would fit in what we currently have without completely redoing the entire aquatic center. We currently have a splash pad. It's about 3 sprayers, if I'm not mistaken, and it's just a big area with 3 sprayers pretty much. This will definitely replace that. It'll be a little bit larger. It will have a new surface and a whole bunch of different features. It will still keep the same submersible tanks that are already located, but it will update some of the equipment. So with that, we do have, I just ordered this one. We do have the 3 options. So these are 3 options that we think will still be within budget. I don't have the final numbers, but we need to proceed. Once we get directions from so we need to proceed with the finalizing the plan so we can finalize the actual estimates and then move in for construction. Tonight, we are asking council to give us a preferred first and then a second option. And the only reason we're asking that is because we want to save some time and if there's any way the first one cannot be achieved, we want to directly move into the second one and proceed with releasing the RFP. This funding is CDBG. It takes us a while to get CDBG approval. We do have to have a pre-con. We do have to release it for a minimum 30 days. So we're on a time crunch to make sure we don't lose any time. So tonight we are asking council to give a preference for first and second option. This first option is the palm tree option. And I'm gonna give you some highlights from the architect. It's beach inspired. It has palm trees, a cocoa palm, a tide pool area, surf stones and other elements, and ground sprays. As you can see, some aerials and some different sceneries here, different areas of what is actually exist. This is the same thing. This is option 1. Here's some different sides and some different views. Option 2 is a Revolutions option. This one has overhead features, a central zone, a lower to the ground elements, a funbrella, ground sprays, and water cannons. And again, this gives you a little better view of what it is, different views, top view, side view, and other views. And then the third one is a kaleidoscope. This one gives a whitewater feature in the center, spiny squirt, magnify, USO, water cannons, and lily pads. All 3 of them are about the same cost, just construction-wise would be a little variance, but the actual elements that are there are all about the same. And again, this is to complete the plans, to complete the plan check process, and then to begin construction in September 2025, right after swim season ends, so we can construct it and open again for next year for the DHS High School and for our swim team, for our swim season. So again, I can just go back over. 1 is palm trees, option 1. Option 2 is Revolutions. And then option 3 is a kaleidoscope. Thank you, and that concludes my staff report.
Can you make it a date palm? Just joking. I like option 1. Gary? Sorry, Mr. Gardner?
Mr. Mayor, yeah. I'm going to say something that's probably not going to earn me any fans, but, you know, splash pads have tended in the past to just be muddy pits, and they break down, and they don't work. And we're constantly
trying to fix them and update them and do stuff like that. So I guess, and you sort of answered it, Danny, but, you know, which one's the cheapest and the less complex that's not going to break down, in your opinion, as an engineer?
We were given this by our pool architect, and pretty much all three of them were ranging around the same cost, and we had around the same amount of elements. So I would believe all of them have about the same maintenance. And they will be updating the equipment to make sure that the water does circulate, that the water is cleaned up after it goes, because it goes through an EV, a UV actual system and everything. So all of them will function the same exact way. Some of them will it's just a look at this point.
So there's really not a lot of difference in either the maintenance or the construction cost of it then. So, you know, like I said, not a big fan of them. I know our residents want them, and they've been asking for it forever. And the one we have there is broken, and as last I recall, it was scalding people because the water was too hot. So I'm hoping that this one won't be as problematic as that. But that's all I've got. Only other question.
I don't know if it gives you a peace of mind or not, but if you maintain it correctly, they'll continue to work. The problem is when you shut them down and you don't maintain them over time, they break down easily. I have one at one of the properties that I manage, and as long as we keep it maintained on a regular basis, whatever the suggested maintenance is, it seems to work fine, but feel your concerns. Jan, Ms. Pye? I don't know, I'm going with first names tonight.
I'm going to give him what he asked for, first and third.
Mr. Voss, what do you like?
You know, I like a little of this, a little of that, and if I could do that, I'd have the perfect one, right? You know,
Oh, let me turn this on. I kind of, you know, at first, number 3, I was like, and then, but then I started thinking, I looked at it a little bit more as I'm looking at it. I'm trying to look at functionality with 50 kids, you know, type of thing. And I know it's probably impractical, but, you know, when you have a lot of them running around and stuff, and what, I mean, and how they use it, and some of the real nice ones that I've looked at, especially the one in Omaha, their river is beautiful, and it's kind of, you know, how do you get maximum use of that? And I'm gonna go with number 3 as my number 1, and part of it too is because we do a lot of emphasis with veteran stuff in our town. We're kind of doing a little bit more of that, and I think we got a vets park, we got a vets center that hopefully is going to be expanded. We've got a lot of veterans in our town. I don't know if that is intended to be that way, or maybe I'm looking at it, you know, it's got the USO thing, right? Yeah, you know, I would say, I don't know, bro.
I'll come back to you.
Yeah,
Mr. Pitts, what do you think?
I don't know if I can pick a second one.
So I'm kind of torn as well, but I would think 1 or 2. I like 1 and 2, so I guess we're all over the place.
Oh, wow.
Well, we could take a little bit of each.
1, 3, 2.
All right, if you can
But
all
I still
pick,
want the cheapest
if you all
one.
can pick one,
The cheapest
they're all
one.
the same price. You already said that. So pick one. Just give one option. Your number one pick.
I thought you wanted a secondary one, but number 1.
Well, I'm gonna get to the secondary.
Number 1.
Number 1. You said number 1. I said number 1.
1 was my number 2, so I'll go with 1.
All right. So number 1 is the first option, and your second option.
3.
I'm gonna go with 2, just to be.
Just to be contrary.
Yeah. All right. You got enough to go on there, Mr. Porras? All right. You don't need an
Yes.
official. Do you need an official vote on that?
Yes.
All right. So the motion is to go with option 1, and it's a 3-2 vote on option 2, which is option 3.
Perfect.
Or
Did you get that down, Bill?
too many options. Second choice, I should have said. All right. So that's my motion.
Second.
I'm just waiting for it to come on the screen. Please vote. I'm sorry, did I take public comment on that one? Anybody want to make any public comments? Give us your opinions? I apologize.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Move to item number 7. We swore in our newest police chief to the city of Hot Springs earlier today in presentations, and and now his employment agreement is before us as negotiated. Ms. Wilms?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. On February 28th, Chief Shaw was appointed interim chief by the city manager following the retirement of our previous chief, Jim Henson. Since that time, Chief Shaw has demonstrated exemplary service and leadership in the police department in his capacity as interim chief, overseeing and managing the day-to-day operations of the police department. Chief Shaw has over 30 years of extensive experience in law enforcement, coupled with the 5 years he spent here, made him the obvious choice for this position, which I offered to him and now needs your approval, specifically as it pertains to the budgetary approval, as it is over my spending authority. So tonight, I am asking you all to approve the contract for Chief Shaw as police chief. The salary for this position would start at $198,017 annually. It is step B of the salary schedule. He would be entitled to full benefits and annual performance evaluations and merit increases, as is customary and common with city practice. That concludes my staff report. Happy to answer any questions.
We'll open up to public comments this time. Would anybody like to make a public comment on this item? See nobody? Congratulations from the audience. With that said, we will close public comments and we'll move to council member comments. Nobody in the queue. And I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
You're stuck with us now, Chief.
Move to item number 8 of the administrative calendar, removal of commission member. Mr. Soriano?
1 second, I apologize.
Oh, you didn't get to announce the vote on that, did you? Did you?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Members of City Commission serve at the will and pleasure of the City Council. With that being said, Section 2.24.050A of the Desert Hot Springs Municipal Code provides that any member of a board or commission of the city may be I can't say this word, removed from office at any time with or without cause by the official mayor or council member who appointed him or her with ratification by a majority of the council. With that, I defer to Councilmember Pike.
Okay. I'm asking the council to ratify with a majority vote to remove the Public Safety Commissioner member I appointed.
All right, with that question, or with that comment, before we open up to City Council, does anybody in the audience would like to make comments to this item? Mike, you need to press the button on the, oh, never mind, it came on for you.
I gotta get my eyeballs on.
No worries.
Take a second.
Mm-hmm.
This is Mayor, council members. My name is Michael Rizzio. I serve the city as a vice chairman of the Public Safety Commission. I serve this nation as a U.S. Navy veteran. I come before you tonight not to defend myself, but to stand for the principles of transparency, accountability, and public safety. I was removed from my position for doing what the ordinance actually demands, advising city when I received a credible report of excessive force by the Desert Hot Springs police officers. I didn't run to the press, I didn't overstep my role, and went straight to the leadership, the mayor, the police chief, chairman, the chair of the commission. I asked for a meeting to get clarity and ensure due process. That's not misconduct. This is called doing my job. Let's read the ordinance clearly. Section 2.40.020 states that the commission shall act as an advisor between the community, the police department, and the city council. That is exactly what I did. If that duty is now grounds for dismissal, then we no longer have a commission that advises, we have a commission that stays silent. Let me be clear, I am not here tonight out of anger. I am here because I believe that good governance requires courage. If public servants cannot raise concerns about police conduct without being removed, then we have lost the checks and balances the city promised its residents. I am proud of the work I did, and I will not let a misinterpretation of the law erase the reason I was appointed to serve the public, all the public, with the honesty and resolve. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else like to speak on this item? See no other public coming forth, we'll open it up for city council discussion. I have nobody in the queue. Would anybody like to make a motion?
So moved.
Move the ratification of Councilmember
Removal of the
Paul's,
Public Safety
Councilmember
Commission
Pines.
member appointed by Councilmember Pye.
Thank you. Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. Move to the consent calendar. At this time, there's no items that were pulled from the consent calendar. We'll go to the public comments. I do have one that was turned in. Mr. Griffith, you did not speak in the first public comment period, so you may speak in this one.
Sorry about that, sir. Elliot Lou Griffin, I'm here to talk about the homeless. I guess I didn't hear one side. That was only one-sided to this story. I'm here to talk about the homeless, though. I am looking at a cooling center. I want to jump right into what I am looking for. What is my agenda? What am I looking for with the city? One would be a cooling center, and two would be housing for them. And I say housing as in they heard it all before. It's called housing first. I think we went with swag, and it is more of a mental health issue first or a drug problem first. It doesn't have help first. It doesn't have homelessness first, housing first, nothing with housing at all. So I would like to look at housing first, and then I would like to look at a cooling center. I did put in my proposal for 2 cooling centers. I don't want to keep backtracking on that one. It's water under the bridge because swag got it. Do you see what I mean? So I would like to say, what are we going to do as far as a cooling center? I like to throw out food for thoughts. I do have one. I did want to get the Stater Brothers parking lot. It is the big center that they had the tool sales in. If I could get that and turn it into a cooling center, last time I talked to them, it was about $10,000 a month. Just for 6 months, it's $60,000. You know, plus give or take with electricity, $3,000 a month just for that. Just the AC, it is $78,000, give or take. But what I like to do is just throw out a little food for thought. I mean, it's going to be 125 degrees out here. We do have 125 homeless per se, give or take, that our last count was. I would like us to do that. And then as far as I do have other plans that I would like to turn into the city as far as the housing first plans. I talked about how Palm Springs did spend $40 million for those 80 homes. I did throw out a number of 110, and I was around 2 million, I want to say, to give a good estimate. Last, I did say Martha's Village and Kitchen, Palm Springs is still paying them $4.9 million to maintain that on top of the 40 million. I did throw out that we'll just hand them the keys and then, hey, we'll try to get that maintenance down to zero, you know, if we could. Instead of spending $4.9 million to, you know, they spent 40 million with 4.9 on top of that. You know, I'm looking here to spend about $2 million with zero on top of that, believe it or not. I do have those plans. I would like to bring them in Thursday. I have some free time on Thursday, so if I give you guys a call, if I could set up any meetings on Thursday with anyone about a cooling center and the Housing First project for the homeless, I appreciate it. You guys have a great night. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments tonight? Yes, ma'am. When you're done, can you please fill out one of the blue cards for the city clerk? Thank you.
Sorry, I'm really hoarse. I don't like public speaking. My name is Sandra Munoz. I am homeless here in Desert Hot Springs. Elliot's phenomenal. He does have another proposal, right? And what I would say is go with that one. It would be providing jobs, putting beautification, repairing trailers. And then I think we'll work on this and have it by next meeting. I seen some things today that was atrocious. How does a fire department go to a trailer park when there's no address anywhere in the front? That's right here on Pearson down past Indian on West. I'm just gonna say that I would wait on a cooling center And you guys are, thank you, Chief Shaw, congratulations. It's been 6 years, wow, this man's put up with me for a long time. And this has been a long time coming, correct? Thank you, just thank you guys. We can hang with the heat. Let's work on the housing, please.
Any other public comments tonight? All right, with that said, we're going to move to adjournment. Before we do that, on May 6th, the City Council will meet again. You get 2 weeks off. And on May 8th, the Public Safety Commission will meet. May 13th, the Planning Commission will meet. And the council will be back for its second meeting in May on the 20th. We are adjourned.